Hello everyone. Today I'll be presenting a lightning round overview of my bayonet collection. Due to the large number of items, I won't be going in depth into each piece. Instead, I'll briefly showcase them and share my overall impressions. The review is conducted in no particular historical or national order, and I will be reviewing them in batches. For visual clarity, I will be moving from right to left as I typically arrange my bayonets from tallest on the right to shortest on the left. Please note that while I cannot provide detailed close-up images of every bayonet, I encourage you to look up specific models I mentioned for more detailed visual references. For the first batch, we have the American Sphere bayonets. This includes the M1 Garand, which has a bulky and robust design with solid materials and a classic silhouette. I rate this one a 6 out of 10. Next, we have the Turkish Mauser bayonet, which was modified to fit the M1 Garand. It's a standard Mauser bayonet design and sturdy but relatively unremarkable. I rate it a 5 out of 10. Next, we have the M1 Carbine bayonet. It's a bit small and diminutive in appearance, and while it does have an iconic aesthetic, I do consider this lower ranked too, especially with the plastic grips. I rate it 5 out of 10. Next, we have three Arisaka Type 30 bayonets. The one on the far right is a Matsushita Variation C bayonet. The one in the middle is a Variation A, either manufactured in Tokyo or Kokura Arsenal. And the last one on the left with a straight quillion is Variation B, made at Toyota Automatic Looms Works. All three variations are elegant, with long blades and refined cross guards, excellent craftsmanship, and appealing blade profile. I rate it 9 out of 10, 8 out of 10, and 8 out of 10, respectively. Next, we have the longest of the European bayonets. We have the M1866 Chassepo, which features a brass handle and serpentine blade. It is aesthetically pleasing and well preserved. I rate it 7.5 out of 10. The Model 1909 Peruvian, based on the Gewehr 98 bayonet, with a beautiful quill black blade and a decorative pommel featuring the coat of arms of Peru. I rate this one an 8 out of 10. Next, we have the M1874 Gras, refined and elegant with a narrow sword-like blade. Excellent materials and markings. I rate it 8 out of 10. Next, we have the Vetterli 1870. As a sort of medieval-like design, it reminds me of a broadsword and has very fine craftsmanship. I rate it 8.5 out of 10. Next is the Martini Henry Spike Bayonet. This is my personal favorite of all spike bayonets. And while it is visually appealing, I do find spike bayonets in general to be a bit underwhelming. I rate this one 6 out of 10. Next, we have the small magazine Lee Enfield pattern 1907. It is comparable in form and function to the Arisaka Type 30s, which we saw earlier. It is well balanced and reliable looking. I rate this one a 8, possibly 9 out of 10. Next is the Spanish P1913 bayonet. It's a machete-style blade with solid construction. I'll rate this one 7 out of 10. Next, we're going into the Argentinian bayonets. We first have the Model 1909, which has an elegant design with the state arms located on the ricasso. Excellent detail and finish. Rate it 8 out of 10. These next two are the Argentine 1891 bayonets. We have one brass one and one aluminum one. They both have exquisite craftsmanship and beautiful blade profile. I rate them both 8.5. Next, we have the Brazilian Model 1908, revised in 1934. It's a functional bayonet, but somewhat plain looking in design. I rate it 7 out of 10. Next is the US Krag Jurgensen, a rather straightforward design with modest appeal. This particular example is mismatched with the wrong scabbard too. I rate this one 6.5 out of 10. These next three are Fabrique Nationale 1924 long bayonets. They are surprisingly well constructed despite their simple appearance. I rate them 7.5 out of 10. For a bonus, we have the Type 30 reproduction by Depika. This is faithful to the original Arisaka bayonet, but the proportions are slightly off, so I'll rate this one 7 out of 10. Moving on, we have the Mauser 1998/05 bayonet, a visually striking piece that reminds me of classical blades like the Greek Kopis or Falcata. I rate it an 8 out of 10. We have the Argentine Model 1909 machete or short sword. This weapon has a short sword-like profile, and this is an Argentinian-made model, and so it doesn't seem to be as sturdy looking as the German-made bayonets that were made for Argentina. I rate this one a 7 out of 10. Next, we have the Brazilian 1908 bayonet. Despite the nice leather and brass details, overall relatively plain design, I'll have to rate it a 6 out of 10. Next, the Carcano 1891, a compact dagger-like bayonet with a medieval flair and a decorative ball finial. I rate it 8 out of 10. Next, the Chilean M1912, made with Austrian materials, sturdy and well crafted. I rate it an 8.5 out of 10. Final group, we have the short Vetterli bayonet, surprisingly well balanced, especially when mounted onto a rifle, so I rate it an 8 out of 10. We have the Mannlicher 1895, which has a slim profile, effective but not particular striking, still overall beautiful though. I rate it 8 out of 10. Next we have the Mannlicher 1888 bayonet. It is a pleasant surprise and I'm currently undergoing a restoration effort for it. I'll give it an 8 out of 10. Next we have the Ottoman model 1890, and this one was cut down most likely during the First World War. It has interesting markings and overall aesthetic, and I will rate it an 8 out of 10. Next we have the more modern Spanish Setme FR8 bayonet. This would have been used in the Cold War era as a bolo style blade with very interesting markings. It's also a solid and affordable bayonet, and one of probably the most affordable bayonets right now. I rate this one a 7 out of 10. Finally, we have the AK-47 bayonet. Though on an aesthetic basis, I do find it to be kind of basic looking. It is arguably the most practical, as it features saw teeth, wire cutting capabilities, and a bolo style blade. I do rate it an 8 out of 10, and for practicality reasons, it's probably my favorite. Given the scope of this collection, a detailed examination of each bayonet would require significantly more time. That said, among the standout pieces are the longer intermediate length bayonets, particularly the Arisaka Type 30s, the SMLE pattern 1907, and the Argentine models. They strike a strong balance between function, craftsmanship, and visual appeal. If I had to pick a top favorite, it would probably be the 1907 British bayonet. Ironically, if I had to pick a least favorite bayonet, which I don't own, it would probably be the British number 4 spike bayonet. These are very common and cheap nowadays, but they're pretty basic looking. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Feel free to share your own favorite or least favorite bayonets in the comments. Thank you for watching.